Right then, this is a road test video, and this is for a Honda Civic 2.2 ES diesel. This particular car is registered DY59ONZ, and mileage at the start of the road test is 74,659 miles. Reason for doing the road test is basically so customers of ours actually get to see the cars we're selling in operation, and it's the very car you're seeing in the advert. You know, we're well aware that, you know, many of our customers come not just from the UK but Europe as well, so hence that's why we do the videos. It's also done on these lovely quiet country roads very close to our premises, so hopefully be representative of what you'd feel yourself if offered a test drive on the car. So starting with the engine of the vehicle, as with all these i-CTDi engines, starts instantly. Settles to completely smooth, even idle, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful unit. It's got all the attributes you want from a diesel, and sort of very few of the bits you don't want. It pulls from low down with real vigour. Genuinely, it's a quick car, but it just pulls. But it pulls to the whole rev range as well. It's not a peaky engine. It's not nothing then loads. It's got not loads then nothing. It's got real punch through the entire rev range of the vehicle, and when you rev it, it doesn't sound diesely. It's got a very smooth engine note to it, which is, you know, very unlike lots of the, you know, diesels, which can sound quite harsh. But this is a, you know, really, really fabulous unit. There's no warning lights on the dashboard relating to the engine or any other part of the car aside from low fuel. Temperature gauge running at a third, and the car's been running for quite some time now, and that is exactly where it should be on a Honda car, whether petrol, diesel or otherwise. So coming through clutch and into gearbox, clutch on the car, bike pointer is exactly where it should be, positive, smooth, silent in operation, and whether clutch is in or out, there's no vibrations in either position. Clutch then comes through into this fantastic gearbox, 6-speed manual gearbox, and it's an object lesson in how to do a gearbox, in my opinion, especially on a front-wheel drive car. Most front-wheel drive cars, you'll find that the gear lever here is actually connected to the gearbox at the front, not by rods and levers, but by cables, in fact. And unfortunately, with some manufacturers, that means you end up with a light, pretty lifeless gear change, you know, which is, you know, will change gear but very little else. This is just wonderfully, wonderfully slick, smooth, precise, machined. It's what Honda do so well. They, you know, give you these controls which just give you just this wonderful, wonderful interaction as you drive, and it adds to the driving pleasure of the car rather than detracts, as so many do. And I can't feel an ounce of wear in the gear change. Every gear selects beautifully. The synchromesh is absolutely fantastic on the car, but yeah, absolutely superb. Steering of the car, again, a real strong point in these cars, and it matches the chassis and the dynamics of the chassis perfectly. It's sharp, it's quick, it's precise, it's accurate, it's well weighted. I can't feel any wear through it at all. It just feels absolutely precise. I can't feel any vibrations at all either. The track's absolutely bullet straight. But yeah, lovely, lovely, lovely steering system. As I said, just can't feel any wear in it at all. And the chassis is perfectly dialed into it. It's such an eager, keen chassis. I love them. They corner flat, they corner precisely. It's got such a lovely character to the chassis. It really has. It rides perfectly well on pretty much all road surfaces, apart from really potholed ones, which every car suffers on. So you can drive around wonderfully comfortably like I am now, but when you go through the sharper corners or the quicker corners, the car responds in kind. You know, it just keeps up with the steering of the car wonderfully. And what I'm looking for on road test is just any kind of suspension chatter or knocking noises coming from underneath, of which there's nothing at all on the car. It's absolutely silent under the chassis. You obviously hear it hitting the bumps, sorry I should say, but you don't get any of those sort of secondary noises. Brakes on the car, really good solid brake pedal there. What I'm looking for in braking is just making sure it doesn't pull left, right. There's no sort of pulsing on the brake pedals or shuddering coming through at all, and there's nothing on this car. It's absolutely spot on. Just changing the airflow. Looking around inside the car, it's not been cleaned yet. It's just come to us, but doesn't really look as though it needs an awful lot because the dashboard's in lovely condition. No squeaks, no rattles, no buzzers, and they are brilliantly put together. But my favourite part, of course, as I always say, is just this wonderful, wonderful dash that greets you. And I love the fact that it's a dash that kind of divides opinion. Some people hate them, and lots of people, fortunately, like me, love them. I absolutely adore it because I think it's brilliantly styled. It's not over the top. It's just, and it works brilliantly. It's not as if it's just there for show. It's there for a good reason. All the bits that are sort of scattered around so you know where they are after a few days of driving them. It all becomes second nature. But things like the radio, dead simple to operate. The top level, I love this dual level thing. You've got the information there for your climate control and your radio at the top left there. Then you've got the speedo in the most brilliant position of all. It means that you can clearly see cars coming towards you or other things going on the road, but also keep an eye on your speed without having to take your eyes off the road for a second. It's just genius, it really is. Then below that you've got this kind of hologram effect. It looks fantastic with this huge rev counter which kind of floats in the middle with the information display, and this lovely glow that goes around it, flanked there by the temperature gauge and fuel gauges, all working absolutely perfectly, of course. And as nerdy as it sounds, as great as it looks in daytime, it looks fantastic at night when it's all illuminated. This is a facelift version car, so it benefits from a whole host of improvements. Some of it quite subtle, but actually hugely effective. Things like all the plastics here around the gear lever and the door handles, they changed to a sort of this tungsten-y look, which not only looks good, but is far, far, far more scratch resistant than the earlier bright silvers that they used to put in. And also around here, you get this carbon fibre looking, it's not, of course, it's plastic, effect, or textured finish. And again, they used to have this beautiful kind of plastic which went around there, which looks superb, but unfortunately with sort of grubby fingernails and fingers, could look quite marked on sort of older vehicles. So they changed it, they listened to the customers, and they improved it. And there's loads of other improvements. There's subtle suspension changes which made the ride more comfortable. There's a whole host of other things as well, but it really was a good upgrade. As I said at the start of the video, the point of these videos actually is to be quite critical of them. So if there's something wrong, you get to know about it before you set off. There's nothing on this car. It drives absolutely brilliantly. Both myself and Tony, my business partner, used to work for the Honda dealers, and we've sold hundreds, if not thousands of these. So if there was something wrong, we would know about it. And trust me, this is a fantastic, fantastic example of one. Having said that, if I missed something on the video, don't hesitate, do give us a call.